What is going on, y'all? Psych Perspectives, giofvcks. Thank you to everybody again for the positive energy, positive thoughts, prayers, love, donations, advice, support. I appreciate you all. Without y'all, I wouldn't, I'm just being real. I really need, we all need love and support, and I totally don't take the love and support that I get from y'all for granted. So, good news. I accepted a position in my field, and I'm grateful, and this is a second opportunity. I'm blessed, I'm privileged, and I don't take it for granted. But this video, I just want to talk about what I mean by the differences between corporate America and nonprofit. And then also, this is a second chance, second opportunity for me. And then also, this is called Count Your Blessings. Be thankful for your blessings and your privileges. Be thankful for the people that help you, the resources that help you. Be thankful, because don't take anybody, any resources, any places for granted, okay? Because as quick as you get them, they can be snatched away from you. And while at the same time, know your worth. Know your worth. I didn't say don't downplay your talents and skills and what you contribute. Don't. Know your worth, baby. Okay? It's a balance. Okay? So, let's talk about it. This needs to be talked about. So, I accepted the position. Very thankful, very blessed, very privileged. I accepted the position. It's a nonprofit organization, and I want to talk about some similarities and some differences, and why now at 28, almost 29, I'm so thankful, so grateful, so humble, and recognizing these things. First of all, at my previous job, they lied and told everybody that, it was a firm 40. First of all, I knew off rip that, number one, the chances of you always working 40 hours and only 40 hours is slim to none in the vast majority of jobs, okay? So I already knew when they said that it was firm 40 that this is probably going to be some bullshit. Because there's just I've never had, and I'm almost 29, I've never had any job, and I've been working since I've been 16, since 11th grade, 2009. Okay? No. So I knew off rip, this is not, and then come to find out, I was always working overtime. On average, I was working 50 to 60 hours a week. So, I knew this new position, the average work week is 37 hours. The average work week is 37 hours. Will there be times that you have some late nights or you work some weekends? Yes. But guess what? It's flexible. They recuperate. You have flex time. So say you work 50 hours or 60 hours this week. You can recoup those 10, 20 hours your next week. Flex time. Wow. Number 2. It's salary. It's probably another reason why there's a little more lenience with the hours, because it's salary. You're already capped. So they can't really force you to work overtime. They have to have some flex time in there because you're not being compensated outside of it. You see? So they have to give you some flexibility in there. At least you would think there would be some bargaining, right? So I appreciate that. And I never really recognized, damn, that's, wow. No more 60 hours a week. But here's the big thing that I want to get out. I had to work over 40 hours if I wanted to make a decent living, because it was time and a half after 40 hours. Because they purposely don't pay us living wages at my previous job. So I had to work that if I wanted to make a decent living, so I could pay my bills, so I could pay off debt, so I could take care of responsibilities. And I still went without. Still had to have a second and third job, second and third side hustle going, you feel me? Still do. Always have. One thing I have learned in almost 30 years, you need to always have multiple sources of income, multiple streams of income, okay? Cannot be dependent on one source. Do not do that. It is not in your best interest, please. Just giving you some suggestions and advice that I've learned, okay? Also, the salary that I have compared to what I was making at my previous job, I don't have to work 60 hours anymore, because the salary, look, if it what I make now with my new position is what I made last year on 2020's taxes, because I was working 60 hours a week. Now I can work 37 hours on average and get what I was making 60, because I had to work 60 hours. So now I just gained, wow. Now I just gained 23 hours of my life back to me. Okay? I just gained 23 hours. I just gained basically a full day back to me. Not to mention that I'm doing meaningful work. I'm serving my community. I'm helping people. It's a second chance. It's a second opportunity. Also, at my previous job, they really tried to pass it off like, yeah, and we give people 2 weeks of PTO their first year, and then every year you get an additional 5 days up to 5 years. And I used to think, wow, that's amazing, because at my previous jobs, we didn't really have PTO. So I was just like, wow. And don't get me wrong, 2 weeks is a nice starting point. That's true. But those of us that have chronic health issues, mental and physical health issues, we can get sick and easily use up 2 weeks. Easily. So that's not enough. Not to mention that there's 52 weeks in a year, so you're only giving me 2 weeks out of 52 weeks? Not to mention, shit happens. People get sick. People have accidents. Car accidents happen. Bad weather happens. People die. Shit happens. You can't just think 2 weeks is going to be enough. But it's a good starting point. But that's just it. People deserve more, and we need to stop going for the bare minimum. So at my new job, but this new position, guess how many PTO hours? 208. Now remember, there's 40 hours in a typical work week, and at this place we on average work 37 hours. And there's 208 PTO hours. So I get 5.5 weeks of PTO starting out. 5.5 weeks. If I would have stayed at my previous job, granted, they fired my ass for speaking up about various things. If you want to know why I was fired, there is a video on my channel. And it's been 3 months, basically, since I was fired. So I don't have any ill will, but I'm just speaking what it is. So this is what's crazy. So if I would have stayed at my previous job, I would have had to work for 5 years to get 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks of PTO. that I'm automatically getting, and this is my first year. So I don't have to work 60 hours a week to make what I make now. And I'm getting 5.5 weeks of PTO. And I'm doing meaningful work, and I'm serving my community, and I'm helping people. Not to mention that they're already LGBTQ plus friendly and inclusive, and it's not a facade, it's not fake, it's not a, for representation and performance measures. It's actually real. Like, I worked there previously and I know this. Wow. And it's related to my education. Wow, and there's always room for training. They give you trainings, education. You're not sitting up being micromanaged like you're some freaking child or some little kid. There's leeway for you to design and implement your own programs and work with a cohesive group, as well as be an individual and do alone work if you choose to do so, if you want to. There's options, there's balances. Oh my goodness, there's checks and balances. Oh my goodness. So these are privileges that I took for granted 6 years ago that I didn't recognize, and I now recognize. And I'm thankful to have a second chance, a second opportunity. This is a blessing, this is a privilege, and I don't take it for granted. And I'm ready to serve my people. I'm ready to serve my community. I'm ready to help. I'm ready to get back. I'm ready. I will not take this for granted. Oh my goodness, I won't take this for granted, because I worked in corporate, I worked in nonprofit, I worked in politics, I've worked in 501c3s, 527s, I've worked, public service, public sector, service economy jobs, daycares, as a waiter, at GameStop. I've worked everywhere, at the bowling alley, on college campuses. I've done a little bit of everything, to be honest. That's why I always, when I say I'm a jack of all trades, I really am. Like, I've done a little bit of everything, and I've learned from these experiences. I've lost things from these experiences too. It's called being well-rounded. That's kind of how I look at it. And I'm thankful for all the opportunities and the people and the places that have come in and out of my life, and who have stayed a little longer than others, and so on. And I'm sharing this information with the hopes that this can help others. So, thank you again for the prayers, the positive thoughts, the love, the energy, the donations, the advice, the suggestions. I appreciate it. Sending love, peace, positive energy, good vibes to you all as well. Merce, let's get back. We out.